Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, we argue about what things Stats Guy could beat in a fight. But also, it's the weekly AFL show. So we have player props, game picks, best bets, a Rate My Multi, the donation for every single game in this final round of the AFL home and away season. Stats Guy, what's your favourite pick of this entire show?
Has to be Ollie Henry to step up for a depleted Geelong side. 4+ goals I'm looking at. And I'm going to have to get my boxing gloves and keen for my pay-per-view.
Mine was probably whether or not you beat a rabbit. Alex, what about you?
I think the Wallaby might actually kick Stats Guy's ass, but pretty keen on some goal kickers this weekend too.
Nice one. All right, it's all there in the CODE Bet Daily Weekly AFL Show. Check it out right now. Welcome to CODE Bet Daily. It is Friday. I'll tell you what. TGIF. Could use a couple of Friday knockoff costs right now. This is CODE Bet Daily, the weekly AFL show. Also filling in for your daily show on a Friday. Time for round 24 of the AFL. That's right, footy's back for the last time of the regular season. We made it. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It's called CODE Bet. You can find that. It's codebet.com.au. Every single one of these AFL games is covered on that website, or at least will be up later today. All 9 of them, which is an interesting sort of situation because don't need really full previews, but we'll get to that. Anyway, I'm joined as always on CODE Bet Daily by the Pontiffs of Punting. That's right, the Pontiffs. We've got Alex Donnelly down there.
Yeah, just waiting to get through this preview so we can talk about the most important thing on the show. Mascots that Stats Guy could beat in a fight and why I would bet on Stats Guy.
Speaking of which, that's the Stats Guy down there as well. What's going on, Stats Guy?
Yeah, honestly, that all sounds more interesting than North against Gold Coast this week, the Harley Reid Cup, but I'll be cheering for, Gold Coast.
Can we actually go to the bull ring tomorrow, Stats Guy, while Hawthorn and Freo are playing and start punching all with some mascots?
I'll be in there tonight. Maybe I'll just go.
Yeah, I'll be there too. Let's go do it. Yeah, sweet.
I actually know the Hawthorn mascot, so that's good.
Could Stats Guy beat him up?
Not a chance. No chance at all. But we will actually, Alex and I have concocted a couple of lists, both of us, for the end of the show. The top 5 mascots that we would bet on Stats Guy to beat in a fight.
Yeah.
So Stats Guy is our favourite in the ring against these.
I tell you what, though, my 5th one's a bit dicey, though. I'm not sure.
I struggled to get to 5. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. All right. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show. But this is Code Footy's back. Daily, weekly AFL show. That's right. It is what it says on the tin. It's the Code Bet Daily show where we talk about codes, betting, and daily. We do it. But this is just AFL. That's what it is. It's the AFL.
I also have the donation at the end just because it's Friday.
Excellent. We talk player props, game picks, best bets. We've got to Rate My Multi. We're going to cover every single game around 24. And before we do so, how do we go last week? Despite me picking West Coast, I still managed 5.
You got the same as me somehow, yeah.
I did also go against you guys for a couple of the other ones.
Yes.
We're very dicey and we're very wrong. Alex ended up the week on 7. Stats Guy ended up with 5, as same as me. So I'm trailing the pack at 123 for the season. Alex at 130, only 2 behind.
He's catching up every week.
If I tip Port like I should have, I'd be 1 behind and I'd back myself to catch him.
But here we go. So, look, going into the final round, Alex has to make up 2 picks at least.
Don't take my tip seriously. I'm just going to go against Stats Guy a couple of times to try and win it, or at least tie.
Well, I might actually change most of mine to go completely opposite of what both of you say, just to really
try and catch up.
So take the betting advice seriously, but not the overall tip is the advice for today.
Yeah, the pick at the end might be just self-serving.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Friday night footy. That's right. Essendon and Collingwood, a barn-burning, final-shaping clash. Oh, no, it's not. Not anymore.
No.
I mean, technically.
Well, it is a final-shaping clash for the simple fact that Collingwood can still actually not end up top of the ladder.
True.
Brisbane can still catch them, just based on the simple idea. And actually, Port can as well, but they have way too much in the way of...
Yeah.
In terms of percentage to make up, they've got to make up 12 percentage points. I don't know if that's going to happen unless the Bombers beat Collingwood and turn around last week's 134 points, was it?
Yeah.
To GWS, the 5th largest defeat in Essendon club history. Yeah. Something I keep banging on about because my in-laws are all Essendon fans. And the thing is, Collingwood can actually cough this up. If they do lose, Brisbane, however, are the nascent top-of-the-ladder team who face St Kilda later on in the round. And Brisbane actually have percentage that is equal to Collingwood. So Pies have to win.
So pretty much like a 4-goal win is Brisbane's like, yes, sweet, we're on top, provided Collingwood lose.
If Collingwood drop this game. Thing is, Bombers have 6 outs, and it's all
dropping Jake Stringer really isn't an out. It's more of a positive at this stage.
Yeah, an addition by subtraction, that one. The thing is, like, the Bombers, they lose all their tall timber. So I had this preview written, basically going before teams were announced. We had the sort of tips of who'd be in. Obviously for Collingwood, Jordan McGowan would be back. We'd get Hill back, etc. But we didn't know what was going to happen on the Bombers side too much, and they've now lost Caldwell, Guelphy, Peter Wright, Sam Draper, Jake Stringer, and Josh Kelly.
Wow.
So,
in fairness, 3 of them could not get a kick to save themselves for the last month, let alone last week.
Income, Wiedemann, Bryan, Snelling, my beloved Will Setterfield, and Baldwin. So Setterfield's he tore it up last week in the VFL. It's not a surprise. Wiedemann had to come back at some point, you'd think.
Snelling's been going all right.
So it's an interesting one. DeGoey and Hill come in for Collingwood. Out goes Murphy, and McCreary got suspended, and Ryan's out for concussion. It looks like Foxy is the sub. So
Finn McRae is the sub, I believe.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
That's right. Last week was
Coxie. Yeah,
he killed it last week. Actually,
it was a really good move. It seemed like because he came on, gave him.
This feels like it's a big Langford game all of a sudden with no backline.
Oh, gee, that's a really good segue, Alex, because that's exactly what I've got written here. So,
thank you.
He does too.
Old alley-oop. Kang, Langford goes bang. So Langford, I actually changed him into my Peter Wright spot in today's preview as first goal kicker, and to go from 3 goals plus to his price on 3 goals plus dropped dramatically as soon as the Wright news came out. Wright was actually dropping as well across the week, and then it sort of popped back up a little bit. Obviously, his news of his, whether or not he'd actually play or not, obviously surfaced. But Langford to go bang very clearly is your play here for this Essendon just decimated forward line. The midfield is still fine, right? Still the same. In my preview, we're talking Merritt, we're talking Parrish, 30 plus each. Go for that. Hind, what is it? The Knicks, Hind and Martin, right? So Martin has had these like weird, wild games where he goes absolutely massive, and then other ones where he's like, I got to 15 guys, and you're like, all right, thanks.
That's what caught me out last week.
Yep. And so I'd be interested to see if Martin does get a little bit more of it. Maybe they throw him a little bit more forward too, perhaps, just play on that half-forward flank. I don't know what's going to happen with those two. But I think you can always lean on the Zerrett and Parrish 30+. I think against the Pies and Anzac Day, Zerrett missed that game. I believe.
He got suspended the week before.
Yeah, he did actually, yeah.
Parrish had a big one. I think we also saw a couple of, like, in terms of the Pies, a couple of their guys went big too. But I think you'll see Hind and Martin get to 20+ each. I think Zerrett and Parrish should get to 30+ each as well. Shouldn't be too much of a stretch, you would think. And for 30+ for Parrish, obviously never much value because gets plenty of the ball. What he does with it is the problem. Is it $1.42? Even Zerrett's $1.73. So I'd multi those up. I think they just both go bang against this Pies midfield that doesn't have Dacos. And I reckon this game, when we talk about over-unders, the Pies have given up 3 straight games, 100+ points. The Bombers gave up, 164 last week to GWS. So not exactly blowing the doors off a team with defense, either of these. So we're going to go over. And I think that means we're going to see a lot of aerial ping pong. I think we're going to see a lot of balls sort of flying around, plenty of scores. So if you want to go to your Langford markets,
I've got this up now. I'm so confused what to do.
5 goals for Langford is $11.50. I love it because remember, the Pies don't have Murphy. They don't have Moore. I think there's a couple of holes in that.
They have named Scott Pendlebury at centre half back.
I think Langford might towel the old man Ripper over there. So I love this Langford bet. I love this. I loved it already when it was 3+. And I think the 3+, the value of that has just completely dropped off, obviously, but it's still $2.50, which feels pretty fine. And that's probably your multi-leg. But if you want to go as a standalone, $11.50 for Langford to equal his career best, which he's done twice, I think, this year, 5+.
He's done it twice in the last month.
Yeah. So let's go Langford. He's booted 50 goals already this season. I'm hanging my hat on Langford to show up this week. Doesn't mind the G as well. For the Pies, it's DeGoey time. He loves shredding the Bombers. Had a big Anzac Day clash. Go the 20+ and 2 goals for him. He'll be laughing. I think in the Anzac Day game, he went for, in fact, I can just bring it up because I wrote about it in literally yesterday's article. But against the Bombers back on Anzac Day. So that was round 6. I believe DeGoey had 28-2. So I'm going that again, 25-2. That was over $3.60 with Bet365 yesterday when I pulled that all together. Obviously, without Nick Dacos, Crispy is still your man in the middle, 25 plus. Josh Dacos, he had 30 in the Anzac Day clash as well. You could probably go 30 again. I feel like there's going to be zero defense in this from Essendon. Go hammer and
like last week.
And Dacos 30 plus in a goal, I'd be all over that. But essentially, the pick has to be probably Collingwood. I think they've got enough talent still to go bang. I think you'll see the likes of DeGoey and Dacos just get off the chain.
But it could be also if they get like 6 goals up in the last quarter, it's like, all right, who do we not want to get injured? Right, you're sitting on the pine for the last 20.
Yeah. And that's actually something I'm going to talk about in the Carlton game. But DeGoey, look, if it's the hammy, that's probably the problem. That's probably why you only go the 20 and the 2 goals rather than the 25 plus.
You're not going to be shocked if he subbed halfway through the third quarter. It's like, right, we got 60 minutes India, get off.
Yep, so go DeGoey 20 plus in the 2 goals, Dacos to 30 plus in a goal, and he'll be fine. Crisp, he should roll. Maybe Alex's man, John Noble, as well.
Oh, what a man.
Not.
And in the back line, I don't know, how do we feel about, obviously, Jamie Billy Elliott, he's got 3 plus in 6 of the last 8 games for the Pies. That's 75%. It's not bad. I'll pay that. And he obviously loves the G, and he loves ripping the heart out of the Bombers at the G. Plus Jamie Billy Elliott, $2 still as well. That's a good multi-leg. But obviously, Pies and over. I think we had in the tips, Collingwood 1-39. This would not be a massive surprise if they blow the doors off the Bombers now.
We've also got to say that Collingwood have been pretty average in the last month too, and Essendon have been just been belted pillar to post all week for how pathetic they were last week. So it's like
it's the perfect get right game though for Collingwood, isn't it?
But it's also the perfect game for Essendon to come out with nothing to lose. It's like, all right, well, if we're hurt, we're sore, whatever, we've got nothing to play for. Let's ruin the team we hate most and try and ruin their season and knock them off the top.
It would be funny, and that would be very, very Essendon. And
that's what I mean, yeah.
Essentially what we saw them do to Carlton in round 11, right? So the thing is the Pies, I think, are just good enough in the midfield to control more of this game, and just defensively, Essendon just obviously horrible. So give me the Pies. I think we're all going the Pies here as well, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't mind the Pies of the line. I just can't trust Essendon defense. They got those big outs, like 2-meter Peter and Draper especially.
Well, mate, 2-meter Peter's got as many kicks as you in the last month. He's been horrendous.
True. But Draper, I think, is a massive out as well. So I'm going to go Pies of the line, even though it's a big line.
To bring it back, because I never actually rattled off those odds, Essendon $5, Collingwood $1.20. The line is 31.5. So I do feel like Collingwood at the line is probably the play, because the 1-39, it was probably much more when Essendon had dudes who were big playing.
But watch Zach Merritt have 42 and 3, and we're just like, why? Like, who cares? It's like
Wiedemann will kick 4 out of nowhere, and
and we're all just like, we don't care.
Good on you.
This game was chaos. Pies should win it. They actually have a reason to. Bombers are just playing to spoil the Pies. So go Collingwood. All right, first game is Saturday. Hawthorn Freo. I believe this was a Alex game.
Yep, this one won't take long. Hawks $1.65 minus 7.5. Freo $2.40 plus 9.5. Over under is 168.5. These teams have got nothing to play for, so there is, let's be honest, not a lot of interest in this game. Importantly and funnily, Freo have lost 12 of their last 13 first quarters when travelling. So Hawthorn to win the first quarter is $1.75. It's all everyone's, if Freo didn't start so badly, maybe they'd win more games of football. Yes, Brad Johnson. That's how you win. You start better. Like, when the Swans knocked them off, they kicked 6 goals in the first quarter, and they're like, but Freo have kept with them in the last 3 quarters. And then someone's like, but they're 6 goals down.
He's out now. Like, whatever. Good on you, punter.
Hawthorn haven't lost this season where they've been the betting favourite, which is pretty funny. So it's probably only happened like 3 or 4 times. Let's go to some player props. Lukey Bruce, 3 plus. Last 4 times Hawks have been betting favourite at the MCG. He's ripped that off. It's $1.72. Honestly, though, I wouldn't be shocked if he pops up with 5. That's $5.20 currently, because Mitch Lewis under obviously a lot of injury constraints at the moment. So I can't even remember if he was named or not. I better check that as I keep going. But he's my main player prop for Hawthorn there. Across to Freo, Liam Henry, 25 plus at $2.25. He's more than likely playing for a contract elsewhere. So yeah, also
He's great. Yeah, hopefully we get him. we were going for him at one point.
Yeah, so he's more than likely going to land somewhere in Melbourne. Apparently, he'll want a good showing, and he's going to avoid the Finn McGuinness because that'll go to Sarong or Brayshaw. So the 25 plus there at $2.25 is the way I'm looking at it. And Jaymz to finish off his season with 3+. He's been fantastic, kicking 38 goals so far this year. He kicked 3 against the Hawks earlier this year, and he kicked a couple of goals against the D's at the MCG. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Hawthorn win.
Nice one. No Mitch Lewis. I'm going to go Freo just because I've got to go against you guys at some point.
I'm going Hawks. They've looked really good the last month. I think when you're looking at a team that's been rebuilding across the last few years, they've done it amazingly. I thought North, my team, were not that far behind.
They have rebuilt in 2 years while awesome, North have been rebuilding for 10.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Hawks at their best can basically hang with most teams in the AFL already, which is chaos for
They've also got Newcombe back. I just had a look at the teams. No Lewis, so definitely get on Bruce, like Alex said.
Yeah. I'd be all over Newcombe as well to get plenty of the ball against Freo. So I'm going to tip Freo just because, they have popped off a couple of the...
Well, if you said at the start of the year that Freo are going to beat Geelong twice, the Swans in Sydney, and Melbourne at the MCG, but they're going to be in the top 4.
Yeah, I know. Not even... They're like 14.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Very, very wrong.
It's just, makes no sense.
Moving on quickly through these horrible games. North Melbourne Gold Coast. Let's go.
There's a lot written here, but I won't talk about it all. I just got it all from my...
Gold Coast win. All right, let's go.
Gold Coast will win. I really hope Gold Coast win this one for North, my team, to get the number 1 pick. So North at $4.30, Gold Coast $1.28. The line is 24.5. The over-under is 174.5. North have obviously lost 20 straight games, longest losing streak since 1935. As a fan, we're just trying to get the number 1 pick here. Surely, Clarko came out and said, "No, we're going to try and win and do our best." No LDU. They were saying he was going to come back, so I think that helps Gold Coast in this one. But no King or Lukosius up forward for Gold Coast. No Slevo for North, so I'm going to go the under here. I think there's so many forward outs, and the last 6 meetings between these sides have gone under the total points, so 174.5. I think that's a pretty high over-under. So, I think it's going to go well under.
Make a point here as well. With the final round games last season, I think 2 of the 9 games actually went over.
Really? Okay.
You say a par-ish kind of line.
I think it was Swans and St Kilda had a mad shootout at the Dome, and it was like, what is happening? And maybe did Carlton and Collingwood go over because it was 80 to 80 something to 80?
It was only 80 to 80, so it wouldn't have gone over that sort of 160.
A lot of teams a bit tired, maybe.
It's a bit of the pack. Put the cue back in the rack.
Yeah.
So apart from the ones that matter, I think we might see a lot of the other ones sort
of
go.
A lot of the unders, yeah, that's a good call.
Literally just be like, no defense played, we're going to go bang. So, but I thought it was interesting that 2 of 9 last year.
Essendon and Richmond and Sydney. Essendon and Richmond went over because it was 141 to 75. And then it's probably wouldn't be the Swans game, probably Geelong and West Coast because it was 175 points in that. So.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. So 2 of 9. So it's interesting to sort of think about that when you talk about Alex's Freo Hawks game as well, probably with the under. Even this Collingwood Essendon one that I tipped the over, but that's more about just the fact that I think both teams love playing at the G.
Yeah. If it's close as well, that one should go over.
Crack,
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
No, you're all good. So just looking at some player props quickly, I'm going Sheasel 30+. He's got, I think he's got the rising star in the bag as a biased North supporter. He's got the most disposals ever in a debut season, and he's got 30+ in 3 of the last 4 weeks. I think that's helped a lot with no Zeeble in the side now, who was taking a lot of kickouts and getting a lot of those switch kicks. When Zeeble's out of the side, he usually gets that 30+, so $1.92 is pretty good. I'm going to go the Suva. Last time I can talk about the Suva this year, so why not? 4+ goals. I think he's had an incredible last 3 years when we're on the bottom of the ladder the whole time. 142 goals across the last 3 seasons is awesome. He's had 17 goals across the last 5 games, even kicked 6 against the strong Tigers defense last week. And then having a look at the Gold Coast side, Sam Flanders, hi diddly ho neighbourino, as he would say on The Simpsons. Flanders, 100+ AFL Fantasy. Since round 18, he's averaging 107 in AFL Fantasy. And he couldn't even get in the side the first half of the year. So 100+ AFL Fantasy, $2.45 with Ladbrokes. He's been unbelievable. And then Alex Sexton, I think he's on the bench at the moment, so he could be the sub. So just watch. They haven't named their sub yet. But if he's not, I think he's going to go big against North. Kick 6 when I went to the game last year. Absolutely demolished us. I only got 1 vote for that 6 goals. I remember we had a bet on that last season, which was unbelievable. And he's got 13 goals across his last 13 13 goals across his last 4 meetings with the Roos. So
Also,
Sexton, 3 goals.
Was also threatening at times against the Blues last week. Like, just tear the game apart at times. Like, what is happening? Why are we going to lose Alex Sexton? This stinks. Oh, my God.
I think he's a good player. I got a mate that's a Gold Coast supporter, and he's in and out of the side a lot. And every time he comes in, he kicks 3. I think he might be just a bit hungry sometimes and goes for goal, but that's why he's good to bet on. So Sexton, 3+ goals, $4.80. I really like that. He just loves playing against North. And then I'm going to finish off Gold Coast. They've won 5 of the last 6 meetings. North have lost their last 7 at Blundstone Arena, which is supposed to be our second home ground.
This is like GWS. Stop playing in
Stop
Hobart.
playing in Canberra. I know. In a couple of years, we won't have to play there anymore.
Clarko will stamp out that nonsense. He's like, boys, nah, it's not worth the money. Nah.
It's not at all when we're losing there every week. And then, Suns have the better overall team. LDU has kept us in games a lot lately, and he's not playing. So I'm going to go Gold Coast and the under, I think, is an absolute lock in this one. $2.63 is great odds.
My favorite thing would be I'm tipping North because that would be the funniest.
We don't get the number 1 pick.
Stats guy's going to cry for about 3 weeks if they win.
Look, I'll cheer for a little bit because I'll actually see a win, but then, number 1 pick down the drain.
All right, you're going Gold Coast as well, Alex?
Yeah.
All right. Brisbane, St Kilda. Who did this game?
Me. The Lions, $1.24 minus 28.5. Saints, $4.60 plus 29.5. Over under 166.5. Lions have won 11 on the bounce at the Gabba for a perfect 10 for 10 this season. Obviously, the 11th win was that final last year. One more win, home qualifying final, and you can basically book Brisbane's ticket to the grand final. If they play 2 finals at the Gabba, they'll be in the grand final. Lions average 103 at the Gabba this year, but then you're like,
wow,
they're playing St Kilda, and it's Ross Lyon, so it'll hit the unders. 4 of the last 5 between the two have hit the unders. So 166.5, that feels about right. Like, this has like weird, 80 to 60 vibes, and just like, that was crap. Anyway, Lockie Neal, we sort of talked a bit of junk about him last week pre-game, and he's like, I heard you, Jim. I'm going to be awesome. He had 31 and about 12 clearances. Last time against St Kilda, he had 29 touches. He's $1.92 for 30 plus. As we mentioned last week, he goes way better at home, and it sort of all clicked last week for the Lions, and he was leading the force there. Mr. Bad Beat, Hugh McCluggage, he's a way better at home player than he is at Marvel Stadium. He's had 25 or more in his last 6 home games. He's $1.80 for that. He had 20 last week, but 25 plus in 6 straight games at home is good. Our man Chucky Cameron has 132 goals from 62 games at the Gabba. He had 4 last week from 8 touches. So that's all he needs. He needs that, anywhere between 6 and 10 touches. He's probably going to kick 3 goals. 2 plus is $1.50. That's pretty easy. 4 plus is $3.75. St Kilda have been known to leak goals to some small forwards throughout the season. And the biggest fake tough guy in football, Eric Hipwood, 2 plus at $1.50. He's done that in 5 of his last 6 home games. He's just that awkward height. Like Wilkie's probably going to go to Joe Danaher. So it's like, how do we match up on him? For St Kilda, Jack Higgins, first goal scorer, question mark. He's done it the last 2 games against the Lions. That's $12, so a little something there if he does it again. Jack Sinclair has had 30 plus in his last 3 games. He's just ripping off
all Australian
possessions at the moment. I don't think he'll be all Australian. I don't think he'll make it because there's such a good bunch of midfielders and wingers before him. The wingers are dead set Josh Dacos and Errol Gould, and he's not going to beat Bont and Petrarca.
Chuck him on halfback. He used to be halfback. Just chuck him there.
No, I reckon this year, because Kane Corns is on the selection committee, he's like, no, can't pick him because he's not in his actual playing position.
Yeah, so, well, they usually don't worry about positions.
Do you not think Kane Corns will be stonewalling that? And Gil's like, right, okay, just shut up. All right, we're going to do it. Shut up. Having a look at Wangani Malira, I think he's the X factor for St Kilda now and going forward. Yeah, 25 plus is $1.88. In 15 of his last 16, he's had 20 plus. Get him onto a big open Gabba where you play some fast footy. He could get a lot more of it and get that 25 plus at $1.88. Maxi King, he's been really good since he came back from that injury. He's kicked 11 in 3 games, and he kicked, 6 against Richmond 2 weeks ago? His 4 plus is $4.60 because if you can get a hold of, because you're more than likely to play on Jack Payne because Harris Andrews likes to play on that other forward and leave Payne to do the job. If he can get a hold of Payne early and put maximum Payne on him, 4 plus to 4.60 is all right. And finishing off with Dan Butler, he's had 32 goals this year. 2 plus is $2.55. He's kicked 32-12, so we love a goal sneak who kicks straight, but he's also had 2 plus in 5 of his last 6 away games, so I don't mind that whatsoever. I think Brisbane win. I think it's a slog, and we're just like, yep, okay, cool. But I can see Jim's tips in Kilda because he just needs to make up ground.
Oh, yeah. Look, also, St Kilda, this does feel like the Brisbane are unbeaten at home all season. Rossaline goes, that's cute.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I think I
maybe.
said that in the preview. It's like it feels so Ross to get the boys up and actually knock off
good team,
Brisbane
yeah.
there. And it's we're charging into finals, and they get smashed in the first week.
And obviously, with the win, though, that puts them provisionally into 5th on the ladder as well, ahead of
So
Carlton.
a win for St Kilda will guarantee them a home final in the first week at the MCG.
Yeah. So,
which is funny.
The Saints would slip into 5th ahead of Carlton, which would then mean that Carlton need to win to stay, to go back into 5th.
Go back into 5th, yeah.
Whereas Brisbane need to win this to give themselves a shot at the actual top of the ladder. So it's a surprisingly awesome game.
Yeah, this is one of 3 games that has a bit riding, or 4 games that has a bit.
Ross Lyon will then ruin because it's
yeah, he loves ruining games. I don't mind the Saints at the line. I know, as you mentioned, Alex, it could be really low scoring. If it is low scoring, then Saints at the line is 29.5. It's a pretty big line. They've been really good the last couple of months.
The tip is Brisbane 1-39 at $2.20 at codebet.com.au for the write-up.
Bit safer, yeah. I like that.
all right. Geelong Bulldogs. Let's go.
Ooh, Geelong. I really didn't even want to write about this game. This is really tough. Since the teams have come out, it's gotten a little bit easier. So Geelong, $2.45. Bulldogs, $1.65. The line is 8.5 and the over-under is 165.5. I can't remember the last time Geelong weren't favourites at Cardinia Park. It's pretty unbelievable, but they've got so many outs. Geelong, they've won the last 16 home games against the Dogs, but they've got no Cameron, Hawkins, Close, and Duncan, who I think are probably 4 of their better players, and there's more outs. They've got about 7 outs. They've got 3 VFL players coming in, including a debutant, so I can't really trust them at all here. Dogs, they need a win to make finals, actually, and they need Carlton to win as well. And Dogs, they get Liver back, which I think is a huge in. I think he's having close to an All-Australian year there, but they are without Smith and McRae, and aren't a high-scoring side at all. Only 10 of the 22 Dogs games this year have gone over the total points line, with especially with their forward line not clicking as well. And then you got so many outs for Geelong. I've got to go the under in this one. I know it's a low total, but it's 165.5. Got to go the under just without so many outs. Looking at that Geelong forward line, Dempsey and Neal only played a handful of games for the Cats. They're in the forward line taking over Hawkins and Jezza, so that's a big worry for that Geelong forward line. Going to take Ollie Henry. He's going to step up and go big. He has to. They've got no one else that's going to be able to kick goals on that side. He's an accurate kick. He's kicked 4 goals against the Pies and Power recently. I think he can easily do that against the Dogs, who are worse defense than those 2 sides. I think he'll be too athletic here. So 4+ is $5. I wouldn't be surprised if that drops, just because I think he could kick the most goals in this game. You can even have a look. I didn't look at the odds, but Ladbrokes has like a most goals in the game thing. So Dogs like to share the goals a bit, whereas I think Henry is going to be their only man up forward to kick 4. So yeah, 4+ is $5. Zach Guthrie, just a bit of a niche market. He's been stepping up this year and he's been really good. I think he's going to have to step up again with so many outs. He's a strong intercept marker. A lot of people in the last couple of years said he shouldn't even be in the side, but he's been awesome. Averaging 19 disposals also against the Dogs, which is his favourite opponent to play in terms of disposals. So Guthrie 20+ disposals at $2.35 off halfback. I thought was really good there. Then having a look at the Dogs, I think they're going to have a big game, especially through a co-bet favourite, 25 and a goal for Bont. Surely he does it again. He's done it in 7 of his last 10. That's $2, just 25+ and a goal. I think it's an absolute lock. He's also looking for the Brownlow. I know that won't be in the back of his head, but if he gets the 2 or 3 votes here, I think he's going to lock in the Brownlow over Nick Dacos, who's injured. Then 25+ and 2 goals. I think he could easily do that. He's done that 4 times across the last 7 weeks. So 25+ and 2 goals for the Bont is $4.50. Bit better value there. And then having a look at, we've argued in the office about this guy, Caleb Daniel. Just that's why I think he's in the back of my head. Averaging 24 disposals this year, 8 contested.
Oh, no, we weren't arguing. We were arguing about a take.
He's arguing about a take, yes. A few things about him. I think he's a very good player and he's very crucial to this side. He's got 24 disposals, 5 score involvements, and it's building a high AFL Fantasy average of 91 this year. Averages more disposals against Geelong than any other team with 25, so you could have a look at him to get 25 disposals, especially he's been getting a lot of midfield minutes, not just off half-back. But the main market I'm going to look at is Daniel, 90+ AFL Fantasy. He just has to get his average, and I think with so many Geelong outs, he's going to tear it up. So 90+ AFL Fantasy is $1.85. If the Dogs don't win this, Bevo's out. Simple as that. Like, you got to beat a VFL Cat side. I know they lost to the Hawks and the Eagles, but I've got to go the Dogs in this one. They've got Libba back in, who I think is a massive in. Bont was doing all the clearance work last week. You bring back Libba, they can split the clearance work a little bit there. So I'm going to go Bulldogs 1-39. just because it's in Geelong and the way they've been playing the last month, I can't trust them to go big. But Bulldogs 1-39, I think, is the safest bet in this one at $2.15.
Haven't won at GMHBA Stadium in 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Absolute chaos. I'm going to go the Dogs to break that and win this one just because they have to.
Yeah, they have to. And Geelong's team, literally 5 of their best players are out. So, yeah.
Nice one. Alex is going the Cats.
Yeah, Geelong. I'm tipping Geelong. 1, I've got to catch Stats Guy, but 2, they lost to West Coast and Hawthorn. They have not looked good. And Tom Stewart's just going to stand on the defensive 50 and go, ha, that's cute. Oh, is that Jamara behind me? Oh, that's another intercept mark. Awesome. Western Bulldogs, pressure goes on, they go to water, as we've seen in the last 2 weeks. They've had every chance to qualify for the finals. They are the Carlton of 2022, but they've just done it much worse because at least Carlton didn't lose to the worst team in the AFL.
True, that is heartbreaking.
True.
Saturday night game, West Coast versus Adelaide. West Coast to $5, which is pretty funny. It's like, that's surprisingly short against
it. Is, yeah.
They were $19 last week.
Exactly. $1.22 for Adelaide. The line's only 29.5. This is obviously out west. The over-under is 178.5. Adelaide could kick that by themselves is the joke. I don't think they do. I'm going West Coast again. Let's go. Let's go the Eagles.
Wow.
No, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen in this game because it's rubbing now because Adelaide were robbed.
Yeah.
After Ben Keys' clear goal went through last week. If you ask, Alex how he saw it, it's definitely a point we should all move on.
Oh, no, it was 100% a goal, but honestly, just move on. I'm like, has Jared Waitley actually stopped talking about it? It was 6 days ago now.
You are now still talking about it. Anyway, Tex 5+ in this one. Obviously, he kicked 10 against them earlier in the season. And he'll be chasing my beloved Charlie Kernai now for the Coleman to go back-to-back for Charlie. Tex is right behind him. I believe he's 8 behind.
Sounds about right.
67 to 75 currently. He could kick 10. Charlie could just go for 2 against GWS and we could have a tie. But either way, cool, Tex 5+. If you want some not great value, it's goal kickers against West Coast because this is not much great fun. This preview was actually written up by our man Marcus as well on the site. So go check that out.
What a stitch up for Marcus.
He does a great job. And this was literally the point, I think, when he and I were talking it out. It's like, this is the entire preview should be how many goals does Tex kick?
Yeah.
That's literally it, right? So if you get to 5+ for Tex, it's only $2.25. It is hilarious.
Wow.
If you want to go 6+, it's going to get you $3.60.
We've talked about this game for too long now.
The other one he mentions, Duggan. He's also talked about Tim Kelly going for 30+, and of course the CODE Bet favorite Oscar Allen.
Yes.
Oh yes.
I believe the fan favorite might be back this week as well. Stats guy
Lukey Pedler. The fact that he was dropped, he's had a good year.
He was the sub stats guy. Pay attention.
Oh, it dropped. That's pretty much dropped. Subs pretty sad.
Shot across the bow. So give me some more Lukey Pedler to go for 2+ goals as well, especially against the West Coast Eagles out there. You go 20+ for Pedler and 2 goals. You get
20+.
Dominate the game. Dominate. But they've got no Sloan in this one too, so I think you'll see a lot more, probably just a bit of Dawson floating around, picking up lots of touches, but who cares? I'm going to tip West Coast. Going to be very, very funny if Adelaide have a week of sooking and not making the finals and then lose to
West Coast.
That'd be pretty funny.
Adam Simpson out here trying to save his job, going to the next.
Well, no, he's not. It's the ultimate screw you before he leaves.
But I'm going to go West Coast because that's the funniest again, and I'm just apparently tipping for fun this weekend. So, what about you, Stats guy?
Yeah, got to go the Crows. I really like that line of -29.5. They've been a really good side this year for not making the finals. They've had so many close losses, so I think they're going to absolutely smash them.
Nice one, Alex.
Adelaide don't care.
Cool. Sunday, Port Richmond.
Port Richmond, yeah, I've got that one. Port Adelaide, $1.12. Richmond, $6.50. The line for Port Adelaide is -37.5. You can get +39.5 for the Tigers. The over-under is 178.5, which I think is pretty high as well, talking about what Jim was talking about with the games that don't mean as much going under. I'm leaning towards the under in this one. I'll just start off. Port have looked settled the last couple of weeks. They were struggling, dropping down from second spot, but they did beat Freo and GWS pretty comfortably the last couple of weeks. They also beat Richmond earlier in the season. And a random stat, they've won 19 of their last 20 day games at home. So it's a day game. I think they're going to win another one here. Richmond are obviously without Rewald and Cochin retiring, and Prestia, I think he's a big out. They've got 2 debutants and other VFL players coming in, so they're going to be a very inexperienced side here with no forward line. I think Dusty's starting up at full forward according to the lineup, so that'll be pretty interesting.
I just want to get a price on how many tins Rewalt and Cochin are having in Bali right now.
Right now, while they're watching the game. Yeah, that's a good shout. I think what would the over-under be for Bintang's? 15 maybe? 70? Yeah, 70.
I reckon they'd be on the Grey Goose. They'd be on the bottle service.
Maybe.
You play 300 AFL games, you can go for bottle service, I think. That's how it's
true. A few cocktails. Richmond, I think they still have a strong defense. They're lacking forwards with no Rewalt or Lynch. Port also have a strong defense, and 5 of the last 6 meetings between these sides have gone under. This game, it doesn't mean as much. Port can't really move from third.
Port do need to win this.
They need to win.
Avoid having to go to Melbourne in the first week of the finals.
Yeah,
so.
I think they will win easily, so I'm not too worried about that. So they can't really move that much. Tigers obviously can't make the final, so I'm going to go the under 178.5. I think that's a really high line. Having a look at some player props, Rosie, he hasn't kicked a goal in his last 4 games, and we usually love the old 25 and a goal. I think they're going to absolutely smash an inexperienced Richmond side here, so I'm going back to the well. Rosie, 25 plus and a goal is $2. He averages over a goal per game at Adelaide Oval. Loves to excite the home fans, and I think he'll do that in the last game here. And then someone we haven't talked about as much, but he's having a great season, SPP, Sam Powell-Pepper. He's been an absolute bull for Port this season. He's got the strength to break tackles. I think every week I see him kick a goal where he's fending off someone, or he's a very exciting player to watch. He's kicked 2 plus 7 times this year. And you got a Tigers defense that have a few tall guys that I think he can run around. So 2 plus goals, $2.20. Thought was a bit of value for Port there. Then having a look at Richmond. Now, Dusty is listed as at full forward. They really don't have any tools that are going to kick goals in this game. I reckon just sit him at full forward. He can lay back in the square and just take a few hangers, kick a few snaps. I think he's going to have an absolute field day down there. He had 31 and 3 goals last week against my North Melbourne, but he's coming up against a harder team this week. He's got 11 goals across the last 5 games, and with not many options, I think 3 plus is a great bet at $3.45. He might come into the midfield a little bit, but last game of the season, he might just say, I'm done. He might have already gone to Bali during the week and then come back for the game. Who knows? That's a classic Dusty thing to do.
Called doing a Degoe.
Or a Degoe, or a Rodman, whatever you want to call it, if you different sports. Dan Rioli as well.
Rodman goes to Vegas. He doesn't waste his time on crap-ass Bali.
True. Actually, he would never be seen in Bali, would he? Dan Rioli as well. He's had a great last few years starting off half back. He's averaged 21 disposals this year, and I think he could find a bit of the ball, especially when it's going to be in their defense a lot. So 20 plus disposals is good for a multi $1.75. I'm just going to finish with Port. They're going to absolutely smash Richmond in this one. Don't even mind the 40 plus, but I'm going to be safer with the line at the minus 37.5. You got an incredibly inexperienced Richmond side. Power just want to finish strong and push for momentum heading into finals. I know it doesn't mean as much, but you want to get that momentum heading into finals. So I think it's going to be a bit of a confidence booster for Port, and they're going to absolutely tear it up at that minus 37.5.
I feel like the entire Ken Hinkley era is full of games like this where Richmond come out and win this game.
True. They do crumble in like random games like this, but yeah.
I'm going to take Richmond because it's, again, funniest outcome. But also because my tips don't matter this week. So I probably agree with the fact that Port could absolutely demolish them as well.
At home especially, yeah.
As I've said, weird Ken Hinkley games, Andrew McWalter going, I'm still good. Please help me. Who knows what could happen in this one, but I think, look, I've ridden Port. I think I did the preseason preview of both of these teams, and they're basically flipped on where I thought they'd be at the end of the season. So my prognostications were right. I just had the names wrong.
Yeah.
There you go. So I think Port, they obviously have Butters, Rosie, just absolutely flying. I think they probably beat them, but I'll take Richmond because that's funnier.
Yeah.
Alex, Port?
Port 60 plus, $3.20 with Ladbrokes. This could be like
60,
this.
I don't mind.
This could be like where Port Adelaide put 100 on Hawthorn in the first half, like 100. They kicked 100 points in the first half. They could just go psycho, and Richmond is like, what? We don't care. Last week was our last game.
Their forward line is Baker starting at centre half forward. They're all small forwards in their Richmond forward line except for Bolter. Yeah.
And Port Adelaide will be pumped up. Home game in front of, last one of the season. They'll be up and about and go full on psycho mode here.
Yeah.
I like it. Good call. All right, Sydney, Melbourne.
Yeah, Swans SCG, $1.80 minus 2.5. D's, $2.05. Line is plus 3.5 for them. Over under has dropped a little bit the last couple of days. It's now 160.5. Swans, they've won 6 on the bounce to make the finals. Give me that $8 that I cashed in on. Thank you. Nice. All of those wins have been 1-39. The D's have failed to cover in their last 5 interstate games, which I found fascinating. The last 4 Swans daytime games have gone over. And between the two in the last decade, the Swans have won 12 of 15. They lost earlier this year. There was one 2 years ago, 2021, and then there was a random one about 6 years ago. Having a look at the overs, I'm going to back the overs here, as I just think this could be a really open game of footy and it's just whizzing around. Head towards the player props. Gerald, please hit my favourite bit. Hopefully he has it. He's not listening.
Oh.
This one might
Yeah. Not that, but
His other favourite bit, which would be, what?
Gerald's just trolling me at this point.
Playing all the bits.
He's just like,
That's
it's
not his fault.
Friday.
That's not his fault. You didn't say
It's
a name.
the Errol bit, Gerald. I'm talking about the Swans. God damn it.
Play any bit you want. This is funny.
Oh, we're off the rails. All right. Anyway, Jim said what?
Oh,
Bro.
Thank God. Anyway, Errol's ripped off 30 or more in 3 of his last 4. And he's also kicked 3 goals. And in the 12 wins that the Swans have had this season, Errol's averaged 27 disposals. But in the last 6 wins that obviously Errol's played in all of them, he's bumped that up to 28.5. So he's going pretty well. 30 plus is $2.70. Obviously, that number is down a lot because he only had the 19 against Gold Coast when 2 tagged him, and Melbourne don't have a tagger. Chunley Warner, we talked about him last week, and yet again he stepped up against the Crows. He's had 5 goals in 5 weeks, and he's had 28 and 25 touches in his last 2. He's hit form at the right time of the season, and 9 of his 14 goals this year have come at the SCG. 25 and a goal is $3.38. Sam Wicks is someone I don't think any one of us have talked about this season in any Sydney capacity whatsoever, but he brings an absolute ton of pressure in the Swans forward line. And in fact, he's had more tackles than anyone in the attacking 50 in the last month in the AFL. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So he brings a ton of pressure. He's also got 9 goals in 9 games that he's played this year. 2 plus is $3.40. He kicked 3 against Essendon. He's the type of bloke that just pops up and kicks 2 in a minute and a half. You're like, oh, yeah, Sam Wicks. That's cool. Towards the Lizard, 20 plus is $1.68. He's had 23 or more in his last 4 games at the SCG. Had 20 plus last week as well. As my hamstring cramps up, that's really not fun.
I was like, what is he doing?
No, my hamstring full on cramps. Isaac Heaney. He's the number 2 ranked forward in the game at the moment, well, since round 10. He's 17 goals in 5 games, kicked 3 last week. And he averages bang on 15 touches a game this season. 15 and 2 for him is $3.15. For the Ds, I'm really avoiding Clayton Oliver hard this week. I think they gave up the game plan to take him on last week when Simon Goodwin and he complained about getting a tag. So watch Callum Mills go to him and try and tag him out of the game. So also avoid Callum Mills because last week he tagged Jordan Dawson. So Brayshaw and Viney are probably going to do the heavy lifting, you'd think. Viney's had 25 plus in his last 10. He's $1.60 to do so once again. And in Brayshaw in his last 6 weeks, he's averaged 27 and a half touches. So, 27, 28, whatever. He's $1.73 to get 25 plus again. Alex Neil-Bullen, 8 goals in 7 games, and he's somehow $1.58 to kick a goal this week anytime. He just pops up with one. You're like, sweet, there's our Neil-Bullen tick. And finish off, Bailey Fritsch. First game back since he broke his foot against GWS, but he loves playing the Swans. He's kicked 9 in his last 3, and all 3 of them have been 3-3-3. He's back this week, 3 plus is $3.15, and just like the way he goes about it, he's just an awkward player to match up on. So maybe Robbie Fox plays on him. I'm not sure, but they're always in for a tough time against Fritsch. $3.15, but I am tipping the Swans. I think at home they'll get the job done. Just with the D's away record as well, failing to cover in their last 5 is a bit shonky. And also they're just the funny thing is I think they can beat Collingwood, but I just don't like them away from the MCG at the moment.
Interesting. Sydney obviously need to win to give themselves a crack of jumping up to 6.
A win gives us a home final. Assuming St Kilda lose because our percentage is miles better.
They're also 2 points ahead of you. So
so a win we're sweet. Yeah,
a win or a loss.
Yeah,
how that one goes. But I'm taking Sydney as well. I think just Melbourne on the road at the SCG, just a little bit wonky, and I think the Swans have got a little bit too much in the midfield.
This is the one I'm not shocked.
The tag.
Yeah. So. I'm also not shocked. Say the Swans are up by 4 goals at 3/4 time and Goodwin's and obviously depending on what the results have gone before, because the Ds could literally have nothing to play for when they run out. Because if Brisbane and Port Adelaide have already won, it's well, we're going to be fourth no matter what. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's an early Petrarca sub or something else. You get your game time in, they get their running loads in, but they manage them in sort of in the second half. That wouldn't surprise me. Whereas the Swans, all to play for.
Stats guy?
I'm going to go D's. I don't really have any reasoning to be fair, but I don't mind their forward line. It's starting to click a little bit. Got Bailey Fritsch back in, so I'm going to go D's.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
And
that's all right. I just think they're a better overall team in my opinion.
sure. Carlton, GWS, the final game of the 2023 home and away regular season.
The over-under is 7 minutes.
$1.68 for the Blues, $2.30 for GWS at Marvel Stadium. The line is 5.5 for Carlton, 7.5 if you're taking GWS. I think we can split that. That'd be good. To be honest, GWS at the line, that plus 7.5, I kind of don't mind that. And there's a couple of reasons. This all comes down to results earlier in the round. If St Kilda lose and Sydney lose, Carlton will be sitting there going, well, who cares? Whatever. We don't care at all. Actually, no, it's only if St Kilda lose because Carlton have got it depends on St Kilda because Sydney don't have the percentage to take Carlton. So
Nope.
Unless they demolish or rate the Demons to a horrifying degree.
Yeah, but that's going to have to be 130 to 20.
But basically, the Saints and Sydney win, Carlton need to win. Essendon or the Dogs win, GWS still need to win. Quite specifically if Western Bulldogs do because they have a higher percentage than GWS. So it sets it up as a weird clash. Can we say that?
Yep.
Weird. Really weird.
It is.
Because these two teams could obviously then meet again in the first week of the finals. So
More
we'll see
than
what
likely will.
Thing is, you've got Sam Walsh, Adam Chera back for the Blues. I'm going to steer clear of both of them because as Alex hit on with the management, I think we'll see both of them managed regardless of what the result's going to be here. I think Voss will go into this game going, as long as they come out of this game healthy, that's literally all that matters.
True.
Same with McGovern. So, look, I think Cripps probably even gets emergencied out of this game, depending on if St Kilda lose. I think Cripps has been named. I think Hollands probably just comes in for him.
It's probably a smart option when you're in the finals,
just to give him 2 weeks off and get his body right. But either way, so that means and Sam Docherty's been rested as well. So Nick Newman and George Hewitt, a.k.a. Blewett and Newman, 25 plus feels like fait accompli for both of them. 30 plus for Newman, which he just keeps smash rating, $2.70. I love it. Let's go Newman. And Hewitt is $2.90 as well. Marvel, both of them go okay there. Let's go it. Charlie Curnow, it's a tough pick against GWS, isn't it? Sam Taylor out there, just like I'd want to probably steer clear of most of the Blues goal kickers at Marvel. I don't see Charlie getting a massive, massive bag against GWS. So despite the form that he's in, I'd probably look at maybe Jack Martin for 2+, Motlop for 2+ as one of the sort of crummers, and away you go there. Maybe Owies for 2+ as well. But otherwise, I'm just going to sort of just pull the sort of pin on some of the Carlton goal kickers at Marvel against GWS. On the other side, though, I'm going all in on Toby Green. Ooh. 4+, $2.80. It's not great value, but he had 4 against the Blues in 2021. He had 3+ against them at Marvel last year. It's the one spot in the Blues backline that does feel like a little bit more vulnerable, where you have that sort of lead up smaller kind of forward versus like the big bustling big blokes like what's GWS's big dude? Why is
Sam
his name?
Taylor.
Kieran Briggs.
Oh, Briggsy!
The forward. Big bustling.
Jesse Hogan. Or Riccardi.
Hogan Riccardi, both of them, right?
Yeah,
So
Riccardi's been really good, actually.
I think the Blues have enough sort of size and speed, though, to combat them. Green's the one that gets off the chain. So 4+ for him. And, of course, for the your two midfielders are the obvious ones. Caniglio had 29 before he cost the Giants the game earlier this season against the Blues when he gave up the descent 50-metre penalty and a goal resulted. And then Tom Green, I think, had 34 against the Blues earlier this season too. I think they both go 30+. I think this is a bit of a depending on results, you wait to bet on this until literally Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
And then probably just throw whatever you can for Green and Green. Caniglio as well. Doesn't mind Docklands. But if you're looking for two Blues names beforehand, it's Newman and Hewitt. I'd probably multi them up for 25s and individually 30+ each. I really like that because it's Marvel. You're going to see a lot of that sort of mid back half play from both of them. I think the Blues sneak this one out. GWS at the line though because they just play weird, crummy, strange, bizarre games, these two. So GWS plus 7.5 and I'll go Carlton to win.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go Carlton to win as well. With a bit of a lapse there. I just think they've obviously won their last 9 games. I know GWS have a little bit more to play for, but yeah, Carlton at home, too strong.
Yep. Alex?
GWS, I think they got just that bit more to play for because they get to the point, Carlton are like, we literally just are going to be here fifth. We'll see you in 2 weeks, GWS, at the MCG. So let's pack her up.
I think that's probably what my brain is now telling me.
I also need one to probably beat Stats Guy, so I needed to go opposite this game anyway.
Nice one.
Nice.
And to be honest, I would kind of rather Carlton lose before heading into the finals because I think winning 10 straight and rolling in is good. And having your heart broken in the first week of the finals.
Geelong won 16 straight last year, so don't be stressed.
Maybe the Blues are just going to win 16 straight and win the flag. Flaggers. All right, let's do
14.
Let's throw to Gerald for the best bets drop.
It's best bets.
Oh, he gets this one.
Bets. It's time for all the best bets.
It's obviously Tex 5+ for me, but I do like the Toby Green 4+ a lot. It's a lot. There was also a good mention for Oscar Allen, first goal, but really – to go back to my first game of the weekend for tonight's game, Langford for 5+ against this weird Collingwood team right now. I love that at $11.50. Like, I'm already on it. Let's go. So, Dacos 30+ and a goal against this horrible defensive Essendon midfield as well feels like fait accompli for me. Dacos hasn't hit the scoreboard quite as much in the last couple of months, but he had basically, that awesome run throughout most of the season where he was a lock for 25 and a goal. So, Dacos 30+ and a goal will get you pretty good value at this point, but Langford 5+ goals. Right, stats guy.
Ollie Henry, I think he has to step up when Geelong don't have any of their good forwards in. So 4+ goals, they're going to be kicking it to him as much as they can. So $4.80, I think, is an amazing value. Get on that as soon as you can. I reckon that will drop. And then the Suns, they're going to smash North and the under. I think it's going to hit. There's a lot of outs for both teams in the forward line. So Suns and the under at $2.63 would be my other best bet.
That's a great call. Alex.
Lukey Bruce, 3+ at $1.72, even that 5+ at $5.20. Errol, 30+, $2.70, and Kyle Langford tonight, 4+ at that $5 mark.
Nice one. Do you want to do a quick rate my multi of a bit of a line bet? What do you think?
Sure.
Rate my multi.
All right, we're going to go. So we talked this one out about Collingwood at the top. We've got Collingwood -30.5.
Yep.
We have, I believe, Hawthorn -8.5. We have Brisbane -29.5. And we have Port Adelaide -41.5.
Oh, it's gone up. Jeez.
Just keeps rocketing, I reckon. And you can probably throw the Bulldogs in there to go to a 5-legger if you really want to and get to $25. -8.5. Gentlemen, rate my multi.
Well, I was going to go most of those lines anyway, so I might have to give it a 9.
That's favourites as well. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 6 because I just wouldn't be shocked if Essendon just plays psycho and lose by 3 goals.
Yep. Good call. The Collingwood one, that game is going to be unreal tonight. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Friday tradition. Let's hear it for
Donation. This one might actually win. Donation.
Maybe it will, perhaps. I don't know.
Going for 2 in a row this week.
Oh, back
All
to
right.
back.
Start off with the EPL head-to-head. Brentford, Brighton, and Arsenal. All 3 of them to win. We talked about them on the EPL show. Go check that out.
Yeah, they're 3 of our best.
Whenever you listen to our podcast as well as our write-ups and such. Gold Coast Suns, alternate line -8.5, just in case North Melbourne sort of hang in there and just lose. The Brisbane Lions 1-39 because, it's Ross Lyon. Luke Bruce, 3+ goals. And then, of course, we finish off with some horses. Moonee Valley, race 1, number 2, the years for Gay Waterhouse and Jordan Childs. I had this horse as my best bet in his last run over the Autumn Carnival. He disappointed me there, but I love the way that he's trialled up. He goes to Moonee Valley, sits on speed, and should kick away. And then across to Rosehill, race 3, number 8, Marquess was my best bet on the Hold All Tickets podcast. Please go and listen to the Hold All Tickets podcast, powered to you by punters. We're back for the spring season. I think he was awesome first up, and I think he'll win again. The donation this week will get you $43.63 because we're going both those horses to win.
Oh,
wow.
That's probably one of my favourite donations we've ever had, I reckon.
I worry about the Bruce. I think you made a pretty good argument for Bruce, but I think this is also just the weird sort of one where he's like, at the G, they're playing Freo and he kicks 2. And you're like, oh, come on. So instead of the donation, it turns into a bad beat for Monday's show. So,
no, I reckon I don't mind it.
I'll still give it a 7.5 because Bruce, look, Freo stinks, so he could easily do it. I love the Lions 1-39 edition. Suns 8.5 is a really good alternate line, just in case North Melbourne really just sort of make it weird. Absolutely have like Liam sweating through his jocks all the time. Either way, so I'm going to go 7.5 for that donation. What do you reckon, Stats Guy?
Yeah, I'll give it an 8.5 because I like them.
Good job. Let's do the top 5 things that I would bet on.
I forgot about this.
Yes. Liam, the Stats Guy. In the ring with any of the mascots across the AFL and NRL, I have 5 that I would bet on Stats Guy to beat.
I should have got some boxing gloves out the back.
Number 1, Alex.
Yep.
Tell me if you agree. I think Stats Guy could beat a swan. Now,
I have the swan on my list.
I've broken down how scary swans can be, but I think
I back myself.
Boy, and he could probably handle that long neck thing. Just get it in a headlock, give it a noogie, and away you go.
If it was a goose, on the other hand, I'd back the goose.
I back the goose.
I'll never bet against a goose. Number 2,
Yep.
I have a cat, a simple cat.
Yeah, I would punt a cat.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I don't like cats as well, so I'm happy with that.
Cat would be just sitting there petrified in the middle of the ring. Stats Guy could run up and punt it. There you go.
Yeah.
Number 3, very similar vibes, a rabbit. Rabbitos.
Yeah.
I think Stats Guy could probably handle a rabbit. I would bet on Stats Guy to beat a rabbit.
Yeah.
4, an eel. A bit slippery. We know.
I don't know about that.
But I don't see how the eel defeats.
Wait, are we in water or are we on land?
I was about to say, is it an electric eel or, I need to know. I need to know stuff.
I think it's just a Parramatta eel, right? So
Regular eel.
If he's in the Parramatta River, Stats Guy's screwed. It's like it's nuclear in that water.
Not moray eel. It's not an electric eel. It's just an eel. I'm going Stats Guy. And number 5.
Yeah,
I really struggled to get to 5 because everything else I can go, pretty sure that could be Stats Guy. A storm. Because I'm like, Stats Guy could just put on a coat and have a sit.
What if there's like thunder or something or lightning?
Are you scared of that? Yeah, I was about to say, if there's lightning, don't hold an umbrella because that's when the storm will beat you.
Because I do not trust Stats Guy to beat a crow. Okay, sorry, I broke the divisions, the bird division. I cannot see him beating a crow, a magpie, an eagle, or a hawk. I think all 3 would beat
crow.
Stats Guy.
I don't like magpies, so yeah, the other ones.
Lions. You would be absolutely toast against a lion, a tiger, a panther, and what else? Miscellaneous animals. You could not beat a kangaroo. I could see that boxing the absolute bejesus. Both types of bulldogs, both the Canterbury and the Western kind.
I could beat a bulldog.
No, you couldn't. I'd just give you the clamps. You'd go down like a sack.
Yeah.
Fish/marine life. Sharks. No chance. Dolphins. They're smarter than you, Stats Guy. In the other ones in the air, a sea eagle. Again, no chance. The one that I did consider putting on there, a rooster. Now, my 4-year-old kid has gotten into a tussle with a rooster. He lost that. Stats Guy would too. People or people adjacent things. Would Stats Guy beat a knight? No. Would he beat a cowboy? No. Would he beat a warrior? No. Would he beat a raider? No.
What's a raider?
Not a chance.
A Viking.
What else? A saint? No. Would he beat a docker? No. Would he beat a demon? No chance. A dragon? Not a hope in hell. Inanimate objects? A bomber? No. It's flying above. Boom. Hellfire missile on your head.
No one's beaten a bomber.
Conceptual ideas. Power? Not a chance. You just run a bit of a current through that.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Post, literally. Yeah. And the idea of blue, a.k.a. the blues.
I'm beating blues.
Can't beat depression. It's a too wide of a range of things. You can't do it, Stats Guy.
Is that the new name for Carlton when they don't make fun of Carlton depression?
I have a list.
The sun. Can he beat the sun? No.
Nah.
He's got the Scottish blood. He spends...
I'll have to be swimming in sunscreen, yeah.
Pack her up, boys. So that's why I got to the 5th one. I'm like, I think he could wait out a storm. Put on a poncho, just sit there, and away we go. So there's my top 5.
Oh, no, Jim.
Yes.
All right.
More detail than I thought.
Swan, cat, rabbit, eel, and storm. Alex, what have you got?
Well, I think that he can beat a swan and a rooster as well. So I think I'd just punt the rooster. Just punt it.
But they've got sharp claws. They've got the big wings. They make themselves a bit. They can jump.
I could have a baseball bat for all I know. I think he could beat a bulldog because I think he could outrun it because those things can't breathe. I would somehow back Stats Guy's lack of aerobic capacity over the Bulldogs.
I've got good over every capacity.
Their entire point is to just grab something and not let go, basically. It's like, bring it.
I'm backing Stats Guy to outrun it. Like, I'm talking like marathon vibes. Like, Stats Guy just beats it home. He just like outruns it. I'd back Stats Guy to beat a cottager, which is the Fulham mascot. Because what the hell is a cottager? I assume it's some little weakling pleb that Stats Guy could just go, I'm actually tougher than you. I will beat you up.
I heartily disagree. A cottager is probably somebody who farms a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe even built their own cottage.
Oh.
Stats Guy's got no chance.
Yeah. And then my fifth one, which I'll give the fifth one a big chance. A wallaby. Baby kangaroo. Stats Guy isn't that tall. A wallaby could just go wham, wham. One, two, knock out. Like, because I looked through the EPL once. a gunner's going to kill Stats Guy.
Yeah.
A villain, well, that's obvious because Stats Guy clearly isn't a villain. A cherry could easily beat Stats Guy because he would choke on it. A bee would beat Stats Guy because he's probably allergic to them.
No, I'm not.
We talked about seagulls the other day. That thing will just peck you right through the neck. Blue, Chelsea, the Blues, you can't beat depression. That's pretty simple. Crystal Palace, the Eagles. Everton, Toffees, they'd have some weapon in their walking stick.
I actually don't like toffees, so they win just because I don't want anything to do with it.
I'm talking as in a toffee, like some really fancy pants bloke who walks around with a cane. They just smash you with a cane. Leeds United are the Peacocks. They just peck the crap out of you. I don't like that. Peacocks. Leicester City are the Foxes. No chance against the Fox. Liverpool are the Reds. They just burn you. The Citizens, I'd back a bunch of townies to beat the crap out of you.
You're just listing all the EPL teams.
and some championship teams.
Also, Manchester United are the Red Devils, so yeah, you're dead.
Yep, cooked.
Yeah.
But there
also,
you go.
A hammer. Drop a hammer on Stats Guy. Dead. Boom.
It's an inanimate object. I'm betting the hammer.
Stats Guy beating the Blues is kind of like, that's probably one of my other ones where I'm like, look, he's an upbeat kind of dude. He might feel sad one time.
Yeah.
Okay. But either way, there you go. Those are the 5 things that both Alex and I think that we would back Stats Guy to beat when it came to mascots.
We'll have to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, coming to a pay-per-view near you.
I did not think that was going to be that detailed. Well done.
All right, Code Bet Daily done for today.
I reckon the Wallaby would win.
Well, to be honest, I've seen some pretty evil-looking wallabies on the way down the lawn.
Yeah.
We turned a corner one time. There's one just standing next to the road, just eyeballs going, go on, do something. You're like, sir, I don't want any trouble.
Like Stats Guy isn't the tallest bloke, so I'm a bit concerned with that pick.
Anyway, the CODE Bet Daily Weekly Show is done for AFL. So we're back on deck on Monday. We'll be wrapping up some bad beats, no doubt, a whole bunch of other stuff. We have the NRL show out already. The EPL show is also out. We have all the daily shows. On yesterday's daily show, we covered a whole bunch of the FIBA World Cup. That's also covered on NBA Australia. A new episode of that went up last night where I broke down every single game for Friday and Saturday against the line and every single group as well.
Awesome.
So like, review, and star all of those as well, including hold all tickets. Was that via Punters? You can subscribe to that now as well.
So if you just type in hold all tickets at Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find us there.
Nice one. So like, review, and star all of those. And check us a follow across all the socials, of course. Facey, IG, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Twitch, all that good stuff. Send in any questions, any Rate My Multis that you want rated, all that good stuff as well. And thank you to everybody for listening, and to Stats Guy for putting up with that last segment. Thank you, Stats Guy.
Thank you. I'm going to get the boxing gloves and get training.
Nice one. Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for Gerald for half paying attention in the middle of the show, and also all the work that he does. He does a great job. And, of course, thanks to me for getting an NBA Australia t-shirt on here today too. You can actually check out an NBA Australia live stream if you're following that through Facey and other gear tonight for the Australia-Finland game at 6 p.m. But that's it. Dunskies, what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
May all your picks come in happy punting. Have a good weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. CODE Bet Daily, out.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.